give you the news. Printed the info, we gave you the clues. Owners' profits were always sky high. Changing market now threatens our lives. Post-literation, critical reading, dumbed down nation, signs have been breeding. TV sucking ideas from our head. Public discourse just about dead. We'll ride the dinosaurs.
Hey everybody, welcome to Navel Gazing, the Valley Indy Podcast. My name is Eugene Driscoll of valleyindy.org. Today my guest is Valerie Knight-DiGangi of the Valley Community Foundation, and we talk about the Valley COVID Response and Recovery Fund. That's the Valley Community COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund, started back in March by the Valley Community Foundation, the Valley United Way, Greater Valley Chamber of Commerce, and the Valley Health and Human Service Council. So there is another application window coming up. If you're a nonprofit and you want to apply for some grant money, you can do so by going to valleyfoundation.org, and there's plenty of information on this fund. You can also donate to the fund from that URL, and you can learn about past grants that have been awarded. This thing started in March when COVID was first detected in Connecticut. So the only thing I want to do is just read a quick word from our sponsor, valleygivesback.org. And if you support the Valley Indy, please do me a favor. Visit valleygivesback.org. Let them know the Valley Indy sent you. While giving back is always in season, now is a great time to plan your gift. Name a Valley nonprofit in your estate plan and create a legacy that tells future generations what mattered to you. With a planned gift, you have the power to impact the Valley forever, without affecting your current lifestyle. Your action will inspire others to make a difference in their own way. Remember the Valley. Ask your accountant, financial planner, or attorney about planned giving options. Plan now. Give later. Impact tomorrow. Learn more at valley.givesback.org. Okay, here's Valerie. Okay, joining me on the line is Valerie Knight-DiGangi. She is a program officer with the Valley Community Foundation in the great city of Derby. Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Hi, Eugene. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's always great to have you on. And I guess let's just get right to it. I mean, nobody's got time for small talk anymore, right? There's too much going on in the world.
So true.
But, okay, so the Valley Community Foundation and a bunch of groups actually have the Valley Community COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund. It is exactly as it sounds. It's a fund that helps with the response to COVID, which has been going on since March, and a lot of money has already been given out to help groups, organizations that have been impacted by COVID-19. So, Valerie, the VCF reached out to me the other day and said there's something new on the horizon with this fund. I have no idea, and I could have this completely wrong, but fill us in, Valerie. What do you want to tell the public about the Valley Community COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund?
No, you're spot on, Eugene, as always. And I can share with you that we and our partners in this project, who are the Valley United Way, the Valley Chamber of Commerce, and have come together to put out an additional round of grant funding for those in the Valley communities of Ansonia, Derby, Oxford, Seymour, and Shelton who are either working directly on the front lines with COVID-19, and as you said, either response or recovery. And we are hoping to let out about $45,000 in grant funding, with grants that are between $1,000 and $5,000 to nonprofits that are serving those communities.
Oh, and what did you say? This is your fourth round of funding?
It is indeed. Time has flown, Eugene. I can't believe, we started this earlier this spring, and we have been trying to be as responsive as a committee as we possibly can. We looked at what the needs were, and as you so well know, with the rise in cases, there are additional rises in needs for the community, and we wanted to be responsive of that and make sure that we got this out as soon as we possibly can. So the application is going live on our site very soon, and will be back due to us by December 2nd. We will be acting on those grants on December 9th and then having the responses back out to those who received funding on or about December 14th, December 15th. So it's a quick turnaround time. We're trying to get it all happening because of everything that's going on right now.
And the website's valleyfoundation.org, correct?
That is correct, and we will be getting the link up and activated on our website, and we will be making sure that we have that information available for folks. It is a very simple application, Eugene. It has been simple all along. We didn't want people to kind of go through hoops in terms of going after this funding. We wanted to make it so that where the need was, we could respond quickly. The one new thing that I can share is that we are giving priority to organizations that have not received funding in the previous 3 rounds that we have done with this particular grant process. And so if there are those out there that are saying, hey, I've already gotten a grant, can you apply? Absolutely. But just know that we are looking to those who may not have gotten funding in the past and are absolutely in need of it right now.
And you said December 2nd is the deadline for a nonprofit organization to go to valleyfoundation.org once the application is up to fill it out. That's correct.
To have it, right. It is due on December 2nd. That is correct.
Okay. And then, Valerie, do you know how much money, ballpark figure, this fund has awarded so far in this pandemic?
You know what, Eugene? It's been over $100,000. I don't have that number right in the back of my mind at this point. But suffice it to say that we have done a variety of grants that have ranged everywhere from personal protective equipment, PPEs, to telehealth and telewellness. We're really trying to be as broad-based as possible to what those needs are, right? And to be supportive to the people that are doing this work pretty much on a daily basis. I mean, you and I were talking before we began about how this feels like March all over again, right?
Yes.
That we're back in this and it feels like, wow, here we are again. And I think that for most of the people that continue to do all of this work on a daily basis, it's been so very challenging, and to continue to remain upbeat and positive, and hopefully, these grant dollars will give them just a little bit of boost as we go into the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, and just to give people a taste of what's been supported in the past, I did bring up an article, a press release that the fund set out, or the VCF sent out a couple of months back. I mean, we're talking, for the American Red Cross Connecticut chapter, $5,000 to support PPE. Ansonia Rescue Medical Services, $5,000 to support the purchase of personal protective equipment. BH Care, $5,000 to support the purchase of telehealth equipment to address client health. These were all needs that were unexpected and badly, desperately needed during the first few months of this pandemic. So this fund has made a difference. I'm not supposed to editorialize, but every once in a while, I'll put the link on social media and people ask, well, what has it done? Because it's so hard to track information online and on social media because everything is so sort of in its own silo. But if you go to valleyindy.org or valleyfoundation.org, you can find just a ton of ways in which this money has been used for the good in the Naugatuck Valley. So it's pretty amazing. And Val, I asked this, I had David Morgan on from Team. I had Sharon from the VCF on about a week or two ago. Do you get a sense, I mean, you're the program officer, so you spend a lot of time talking to nonprofits directly about how they're doing in terms of finances, and you help them fill out grants so they can possibly get some help. How are the nonprofits doing in the lower Naugatuck Valley at the moment? And is there one sector that may be hitting, maybe getting hit harder than others. And I guess specifically, one thing that's I haven't really heard about in a while are like the performing arts. I mean, Center Stage and groups such as that who've really been, I mean, people can't gather in groups now. So can you give us a sense of what it's like out there?
You can't see me, and I'm nodding as you're talking. So I'll give that visual to the listeners today. Absolutely, Eugene. It has been across the board in so many different sectors, ranging, as you're saying, from the arts of people not necessarily being able to gather. Although Center Stage has been making some accommodations, they've come to BCF for separate funding to be able to do that. So, we're trying to help them develop, some kind of hybrid model for the work that they're doing. And as you're saying too, with these other organizations in the very beginning, we were specifically funding to make sure that people had the correct equipment and all of the necessary supplies in order for cleaning and disinfecting and all of that stuff. And you're absolutely spot on again about, no one planned for that, right? No one planned for what this was going to look like. If the last several months have taught us anything, I think it's just about the need to be flexible and resilient. Right? So the one thing that all of the organizations, no matter what sector that they are working in, have in common is that they are just standing strong and that they are unified in the work that they do and the services that they provide to the community. And whether it is, somebody working in the health industry or somebody working in another form of delivering some kind of service to their clients, whether it be telehealth or telewellness or whatever. There are just so many different ways of how people have been able to manage and how important it is for them to continue to just remain flexible, especially during this time. And the one thing that we can continue to, just really support is the mask wearing and the hand washing and all of those other pieces, as especially as we, are maybe gathering together with our family and friends for Thanksgiving. The CDC has put together some great ideas about how, you can stay safe. And so it's all about staying safe. It's all about being together, even, and we say this all the time, it's being together even though we're apart and staying unified. And hopefully, as I said before, this grant funding will be able to just give that little bit of additional support to where it's needed the most for the nonprofits that are doing this work every single day.
Yeah, I do hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I feel that there is. I watch the Governor Lamont press conferences every day. I mean, clearly we're in a second wave. We're experiencing it here in the Valley. No school district has been spared so far. Just this morning or just last night, there were 3 deaths reported locally. I believe there have been 4 deaths in the last month, and before that, there hadn't been any deaths reported since July. So there is something happening. But yeah, if we can wear masks and just do those simple things, which is science is proving more and more that, wearing a mask helps. It helps a great deal. We get through the winter months and we have some better therapies, and the vaccines really show promise. So I hope we can get through this, and maybe this, who knows, maybe this will be, it won't be probably the last round of funding, because the need will still be there as the pandemic wraps itself up. But just as we speak, the other thing I want to touch upon is, and we've said this 100 times in this podcast and online, but maybe people don't know, is just, these nonprofits, they rely on donations. They rely on their supporters. And they make the Valley fun in a lot of ways, because you got the Men Who Cook for Team, all these giant community events that are fundraisers for nonprofits. Everything from Boys and Girls Club golf outings down to Mayor Zekin being a guest bartender for a given nonprofit. All those things have not been happening. And I was impressed talking to David Morgan last week from Team Inc. about their Toys for Kids, which helps 1,200 kids wake up on Christmas morning or whatever holiday they choose to open presents, and they get that magic of childhood they might not otherwise have, especially because times are so tough. Especially for people who are economically insecure beforehand. But I was just so impressed. They lost 160 drop-off locations, but they're getting it done. And it's to your point about the resilience that people are showing, and organizations that don't make the front page of the newspaper every day, but they're doing the stuff, and it's really impressive. And maybe that's what I need to concentrate on every day. Instead of the things that I obsess over, but yeah.
So, well, I hear you, and I wanted to focus on one of the points that you made specifically about the fact that this need is not going to go away, Eugene, right? That we are only kind of seeing the tip of the iceberg, as it were, in terms of, people's generosity and giving to this fund, and, giving to the nonprofits that are doing, the great work that they're doing. We know that this is going to be a long road, and something that, again, we're in this together, and we are also hopeful that people will be very generous and be able to continue to support the work that we're doing through the fund, and to support the Valley nonprofits, because you're right. I mean, so many of them not only did not plan for this, right, but then also lost a lot of the different ways that they do fundraising throughout the year to do the various programming that they do and so on. And it is amazing to me. And it isn't really amazing to me. What I was going to say is amazing how quickly, for the most part, people have responded. But, at the end of the day, there's that whole Valley spirit, Eugene, that just says, we're going to get through this. We're going to figure out a way to deal with it. And in Team's case, they've figured out, okay, we don't have 160 drop-off locations. We're going to come up with a lot of other different ways of being able to do that. BCF, not the COVID fund, we're very pleased to be able to provide a significant amount of funding to support that effort, because we understand how unbelievably challenging it is, and we wanted to make sure that the children in the Valley and the families in the Valley had a wonderful holiday season, again, no matter what holiday they celebrate, right? And it's just so important that, when it comes to things as simple as, diapers or basic needs in general of food and all of those needs don't go away, right? They're still here, and they still are in need of having that support and that generosity from the people of the Valley to say, hey, we're behind you, we're in this together, and we want to continue to be able to provide funding support to those that are going through a very challenging time.
And if someone wants to donate to the fund, how would they do that?
There is a link up on our website, www.valleyfoundation.org. We will absolutely accept any donations, as you know, Eugene. And we are, as I said, we are looking at this as being, both a short-term and a long-term type of thing, that we hope to continue to grow this fund so that as additional needs become identified, we will be able to respond through the fund and get the money where it's needed the most.
Okay. Well, Val, those are all my questions. I think you've given a great overview, and I'm hoping too by this point people are aware of the fund and what its mission is and how they can help and or benefit from this. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who has generously given to the fund in the past. It's because of that generosity we have been able to then get out that funding to the nonprofits that are working with clients and providing these services. And I just can't even share with you how much of a blessing and how unbelievably humbled we all are from the work that is being done by those on the front line every single day. They are truly heroes, and we are so lucky to be able to support them in any way that we can.
All right, Val, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and people should go to valleyfoundation.org to learn more, to donate, or to apply for a grant from this fund. So thank you very much, Val.
Thanks, Eugene. Happy holidays to you.
You too. Thank you.
Take good care.
For hundreds of years we've brought you the news. Printed the info, we gave you the clues. Owners' profits were always sky high. Changing market now threatens our lives. Post-literation, critical reading, dumbed down nation, signs have been reading. TV sucking ideas from our head. Public discourse just about dead. We'll ride the dinosaur. Yeah, ride the dinosaur. Our readers are in the opens each day.